This Google Sheet sends warm, personalized emails to customers automatically. Alright, let me show you how this workflow works. No Siri yet, just the results. I'll change this row to waiting for sending and the date to today, and then execute this workflow. Now watch what happens. n8n checks the sheet, finds the rows, and sends the emails automatically. And here it is. The email just landed in the inbox, and if you look back at the sheet, the status changed to sent successfully. No clicks, no manual work. So that's the workflow in action. Super simple, and it runs it by itself. Now let me show you what we actually built here. It's a tiny customer messaging system powered by n8n plus Google Sheets plus Gmail. You don't need a CRM, you don't need a big automation platform. You just write your messages in your spreadsheet and set the date, and n8n sends them for you. This works great if you run a small business, an online shop, or even if you are just a solo creator. You can send thank you messages after a purchase, discount codes for returning customers, simple follow-ups or announcements, all without touching your inbox. Just update one Google Sheet. Alright, let me walk you through how to build it step by step. First, let's look at the Google Sheet structure. We have these columns. Subject, this is actually the email body text we'll send. Title, this will be the email subject line. Status, we use it to control sending. Date, the day we want this message to go out. Email, the customer's email address. Name, the customer's name. ID, a unique number for each row. The idea is simple. If status is set to waiting for sending, and the date is today, then n8n should send this message. After it sends, we flip the status to send successfully, so your team can just edit this sheet. No one needs to touch n8n. Now in n8n, step 1 is our schedule trigger. This node controls how often n8n checks the sheet. In this example, I set it to run every 1 minute. For real setup, you might change it to every hour or once a day. Just pick the frequency that matches your workflow. Click execute, and you'll see a green check mark. That means the trigger is working. Next, we add a Google Sheet node. I named it Retrieve Customer Messages Data. Here we connect to our spreadsheet. Choose Get Rows Operation, and select Document and Sheet that holds your messages. When you hit Execute, you should see all the rows from your sheet in the output. This is the row data we'll filter and send. Now let's filter out the rows that are actually ready to send. We don't want to send every row in the sheet. We only want the rows that are made 3 rows. Status is waiting for sending. All key fields are filled in, and the date is today. Let me walk you through each condition. First, we check the status. Only rows marked as waiting for sending will continue. Everything else gets stopped right here. Next, we add a few exist checks. This makes sure fields like title, subject, email, name, date are not empty. This protects us from sending half-finished emails. And finally, we check the date. If the date column has a valid value, we convert it into a real date, move it to the start of the day, and compare it with the today, also at the start of today. This way, only messages scheduled for today will pass through the filter. If the date is empty or invalid, the row is simply ignored. No errors, no breakage. In the sheet here, I change the status to waiting for sending and execute the Google Sheet node again. Then execute the filter node. Then look at the output. You should only see the rows that says waiting for sending, have all required fields, and have today's date. Perfect. The filter is now clean, safe, and ready. Now let's send the actual email. This is our Gmail node, and all we need to do here is map the fields from the sheet into the email. Choose message resource and send operation. For the recipient's email address, we can see the value like this. In our sheet, title is the email subject line, so we can see its value like this. And the subject is the message body, so we can drag it and drop it into the box. And for the email type, we can simply choose text. It sounds a little reversed, but that's just how the workflow is wired right now. You can rename them later if you want. Click test for one sample now. Then check your Gmail inbox. If you see the email with the correct subject and the correct text, you're all set. One thing to note, Gmail will return its own internal message ID here. This Gmail message ID is only for Gmail. It has nothing to do with the ID in your Google Sheets. We'll still need the sheet ID in the next step, so let's combine both pieces of data. After the email is sent, we want to update the row inside Google Sheets, but the Gmail node doesn't include the sheet ID. It only gives us Gmail's own metadata. So we use the merge node to glue the two pieces together. Here's the setup. Mode we choose combine, and combination mode we choose merge by position. This means input 1 holds Gmail's output, input 2 holds the filtered rows from earlier, and the merge node lines them up 1 to 1 based on their order. So result is one clean item that contains email, name, ID plus the Gmail sent result. Test it, and you should see everything combined into a single item. Now we know who the email was sent to and which row needs to be updated. Perfect, the workflow is ready for the update step. Now we add a set node called set data. Here I keep only what I need for the update: email, name, and ID. We'll basically clean up the payload, just the essentials for the status update step. Click test and check the output. You should see need items with email, name, and ID. Now for the final step, we update the row inside Google Sheets. We're using another Google Sheet node, and the operation is update row. First, we tell n8n how to find the correct row. So for the mapping column mode, we choose map each column manually, and in column to match on, we choose ID. This means find the row where the ID in the sheet matches the ID we passed in. Then in the value for ID, we can set the value like this. This is the same ID we merged earlier, so n8n knows exactly which row to update. Next, we update the status column and set it to send successfully. Now run the node and switch back to your sheet. You should see the status change from waiting for sending to send successfully with a nice green peel. And that's it. Your workflow now sends the email and updates the record automatically. So we just turned a simple Google Sheet into a lightweight customer messaging system, perfect for small companies or solo creators who want to send constant emails without paying for full CRM. If you want to try this yourself, I've put this workflow JSON and a simple Google Sheet structure in my school community. You can copy it, tweak the messages, and plug it into your own business. Thanks for watching. If you like the kind of AI and automation content, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.